This is a Wavefront production podcast where the chills never stop. Tune in for another spine-tingling creepypasta story. Disclaimers: for any copyright attribution, please check the comment section. Although we prefer real voices due to budget constraints, we rely on an AI narrator to bring you audio stories that might otherwise not be available. If it's of any consolation, this podcast doesn't use online tools and fully relies on my programming skills. Please subscribe to my channel and hit that like button to help me grow and make my day a little brighter. Let's not lose any more time, and let's tune in for this today episode. Found footage. I watched Found Footage, the first entry in this unsettling journey. It begins in 1991, with a cameraman filming a short movie. Out of nowhere, he phases into the ground and finds himself trapped in the backrooms. A labyrinthine nightmare. As he explores, the atmosphere feels heavy. And then he hears it, a sound behind him. He turns to find a creature, referred to as the life form, stalking him. The cameraman barely escapes, maneuvering through a maze of architectural anomalies, but the life form is relentless. It corners him in a narrow wall gap. And as it charges, he drops his camera, which falls through a chute back into reality, landing in our world as if nothing had happened. A haunting start, leaving me with more questions than answers. Archive tile. An archive file was the focus of this next unsettling piece. Mount 1190 archive tower reveals images of the complex, its stark and sterile halls, paired with redacted personnel files. No context is given, only a sense of secrecy and dread. What are they hiding? Why are these personnel erased from record? It's an eerie glimpse into something much larger, though its full scope remains shrouded. The third test. This entry recounts the third test, conducted in 1988 by the Async Research Institute. Their low-proximity magnetic distortion system is introduced, a supposed solution to the growing housing crisis. A robotic narrator coldly describes the technology and its potential, but the footage speaks of something else entirely. As the test is conducted, the air feels charged with danger. I can't shake the feeling that they were tampering with forces they didn't understand. First Contact documents a pivotal moment. Async's sixth test of the distortion system in 1989. This time, a gateway opens into the backrooms. The footage is stark, the shimmering gateway both mesmerizing and terrifying. What's chilling is the timing. This event coincides with the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. Or was this a mere coincidence? Either way, the repercussions of this test are profound. Missing persons as soon as the threshold, a name given to the backroom's gateway, is opened. The world begins to change. Reports of missing persons skyrocket, and it doesn't take long for Async employees to make a grim discovery. On a routine expedition, they find a body slumped against a wall, covered in a dark, mold-like growth. The implications are horrifying. What is this mold? And what does it mean for those who vanish into the backrooms? Autopsy report. The next entry is as clinical as it is horrifying. An autopsy is performed on the body found in missing persons. The examiner identifies the growth as a malignant form of Hay bacillus. something unnatural and terrifying. The scene abruptly cuts to a flickering TV, images flashing rapidly before settling on the threshold. It feels like the complex itself is alive, sending cryptic warnings or threats. Informational video. This entry follows a Sync employee, Peter Tench, during a 1990 expedition. Separated from his group, Peter stumbles into a dark room. On the other side of the space stands the facade of a house, something entirely out of place in the back rooms. As he searches for a way out, he triggers an alarm, drawing attention to his presence. The backrooms seem intent on keeping him lost. Motion detected async sets up motion-activated cameras in the complex, and the footage they capture is unsettling. At first, it's mundane. Employees passing by, equipment moving. But then, the tone shifts. A dark mass emerges, lurking behind a distant wall. Its presence is fleeting, but unmistakable. Something is watching, and it feels sentient. Prototype. In Prototype, we glimpse an earlier moment in Async's experiment. In 1982, they activate a preliminary version of the distortion system. The test is brief, with the machine powering down almost immediately. Yet, even this small experiment carries an ominous weight, as though the system was always destined to open something it shouldn't. Pitfalls. This is where the horror truly deepens. Marvin E. Lay, an async researcher, falls into a pit while exploring room 14. Below, he finds a new section of the backrooms. Twisted, red-lit streets and distant screams that lead him to a house. Inside, the source of the sound isn't human. A life form attacks, but Marvin escapes with the help of his team. The danger feels more real than ever. Report higher-ups at Async review Marvin's footage from Pitfalls, and their fear is palpable. They decide to seal off room 14, desperate to contain the threat. Yet, I can't help but wonder, can something like this truly be contained? 9,780,415,000,263 573. This short clip. Highway surveillance footage shows a car disappearing into the road without explanation. It's a brief moment, but its implications are vast. What caused this? And how does it connect to the complex? Presentation. Async attempts to justify their actions, proposing plans to commercialize the complex in 1990. During their meeting with the Department of Energy, things take a surreal turn. Peter Tench, thought lost in the backrooms, reappears, though not as he was. He has traveled through time. The meeting ends in chaos, leaving Async's goals in question. Recording 14. A phone call between Async officials reveals more layers to the mystery. Peter Tench has been recovered, but his presence raises questions about what Async knew all along. The tone is tense, the secrets piling up faster than they can be explained. Found footage hashed to another person, this time an unnamed woman, falls into the backrooms. Her journey is equally terrifying. She discovers a car embedded in the wall and follows bloodstains to a room filled with dark, plant-like growth. The life form emerges again, chasing her until glowing green cracks appear in the walls. The footage cuts abruptly, as though something or someone wants to hide the truth. Home 27,647.0f. A compilation of VHS recordings seems innocent at first, until a painting in the background of one frame draws attention. It's a small detail, but it feels significant, like a breadcrumb leading deeper into the maze of the complex. Reunion. Async reopens room 14, declaring it safe. but their confidence is misplaced. As researchers explore, they encounter Peter Tench, alive but broken. He accuses Zaid of faking his death and deceiving his family. The encounter ends in violence, with Peter shooting Mark Bloom before escaping into the darkness. The complex seems to warp everyone it touches. Overflow this entry flashes back to 1972, when Async's early systems experience a power overload. A green glow fills an office, and a document signed by Ivan Beck hints at deeper layers of knowledge. Even in its infancy, Async's project was playing with fire. Damage control, the aftermath of Mark Bloom's death, is chaotic. Async admits to faking Peter Tench's death to avoid scrutiny. After his escape, Tench is found dead outside the facility, his mind and body broken by the complex. The tragedy feels inevitable. Found footage #3 Ravi, another unfortunate soul, falls into the back rooms and embarks on a harrowing journey. The labyrinth is endless, its architecture nonsensical. Creatures and horrors pursue him, and his desperation grows. He speaks to the camera, a final message to his friends before the footage ends. The weight of his words, "I wish to see the sky again," lingers long after. Lighting and tile survey Async's employees remove ceiling tiles and lights from the complex, examining their construction. The results are baffling. Components manufactured decades ago, untouched by time. It's another clue that the backrooms exist beyond our understanding, an enigma that resists explanation.